I would like to call our special meeting of November 21st, 23 to order at 6:30. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you please take roll, Mayor?
Murray?
Here.
Hedrick?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Here.
Job?
Here.
Swacky here.
Public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the new business. Under item A, Fire Department full-time firefighter paramedic hire, Patrick Martindale.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. In September, we were made aware that firefighter Joe Felton, who was covered under one of our safer positions, was leaving for a 40-hour fire inspector position at Macomb Township. At one of their board meetings in September, once it was official that he was being hired in Macomb, we posted that. We had a minority site to try to reach as many people as we could, including Indeed and a daily dispatch, which targets public safety individuals. We also used our social media, and we had recruitment flyers. We had 5 applicants. I think right now it's a very difficult time to get people interested in this career field. There's a lot of people hiring. So out of those 5, we narrowed it down to 2, which were interviewed. At this time, our command staff feels that Patrick pretty much meets everything that we're looking for as a full-time hire. He's got experience in advanced life support with Alliance Mobile Health. They provide 911 services to Troy. That was important for us. He has FTO experience, which means he's able to train new hires. He's able to communicate clearly. He was given positions of responsibility with that organization, which we feel shows that hopefully he could transfer to Armada and have the same type of role where we're able to transfer duties onto him. As obviously we're a smaller department and everyone needs to have ownership within the department. The other thing we liked about him, he has family in the area, and that's not the direct reason. Obviously we chose him, but I think what we see and hearing through the grapevine is that he wants to be in Armada and he wants to move in this community. And I think what that shows that we could find someone that's willing to make a career here and not come here for a year or 2 and then leave. So if we're investing our money into him, I think that's kind of what sold it for us. He wants to come here and stay. He has the experience, and he was given roles of responsibility by his past organization, which shows his responsibility, and that's why we've chosen Patrick for our recommendation to hire for full-time firefighter paramedic.
And he knows it's on the SAFER grant, right?
He does, yes. He knows it's a SAFER grant with that's going to be covered at the end of the SAFER grant. So once that's up, the job will not go away.
I'll make a motion to hire Patrick Martindale at an hourly rate of $16.97, pending physical and background check.
Support.
Second that.
Who wants it?
I supported it.
So just to be clear, it's covered under the SAFER grant now, but the intention is that the position will stay after the money just covers the township.
Yeah, and that's with the
When we increased the millage, the command staff and fire department made us aware that in order to retain these people beyond that, it would be a 0.25. So we asked for the 0.75 specifically to be able to retain them beyond the SAFER grant. That's why
Thank
we
you.
asked for the millage.
And so Patrick has worked for an ambulance company essentially since 2008. Is there a concern as far as his ability on the fire side? Is there a reason he hasn't, or maybe he has applied for positions but not found one he was interested in, that he's chosen that career path so far?
Yeah, and we didn't find any concerns in that area. I think he was comfortable with the working at Alliance. There wasn't a lot of availability out there for him to work part-time or paid on call out there where he lives. So that wasn't a concern with us, and during our interview, I think he's still very interested in doing the fire side of things.
And he does hold
And he does have the necessary training.
Yes, he has all the qualifications, that's correct.
The only other, I guess, concern I had, I'm sure you've considered this, but being that we're so close to hiring a chief, you don't feel that would create any tension, I'll say, by kind of hiring a guy just before we get a chief?
No, and we're kind of bound by the grant, by the SAFER grant. So that's one of the things where we really could have considered that, but we just don't want to because of the SAFER grant, they need us to hire as soon as possible. And then they're
Isn't
not
there a
covering.
time limit, I
Yeah,
thought, also?
There is, and they're not covering any, filling someone's shift, they're not covering that. They're only covering the wages and benefits of an actual person.
The actual cycle itself was creating an overtime situation for the fire department, and they needed to put another person on there to
So is
fill the
there
shift.
anybody else on the department right now that would have qualified to fill in for that SAFER grant?
Not at this time,
Okay.
and we verbally let people know that, because we do have individuals that are testing for paramedic. None of them applied, but they
Okay.
still could, we still would have accepted their application. But obviously that would have had to go to union negotiation to work out, because we don't have in our contract right now for non-paramedic firefighters. So essentially it would have been a firefighter EMT in the testing process for paramedic.
And the one cadet that we had that did qualify for paramedic took a job for 90 grand in another community.
Yes, it is correct. We did have one qualified individual, which he turned down. We did approach him, he turned down
Okay.
the
So
application.
there is
Ye-
there was nobody else within the
Correct.
department that would be able to fulfill that SAFER grant?
Yes,
position.
that's correct.
Okay.
No one else was interested. Obviously, that would have been
Okay.
our priority number
Ideal,
one,
right,
because they're already
right.
trained to our standards.
But we don't pay 90 grand.
No, and I think, and he was a little bit younger, I think he wanted to go to a little bit busier department, so plus with the 90 grand. And really it just comes out with the contracts. Some departments had the ability to negotiate their contract, having seen what inflation's done to the economy, which obviously our wages and benefits are negotiated through contracts. So if there's a couple departments that are able to get ahead of that inflation rate, where ours was negotiated, I think, just before, I think inflation kind of had I don't know if I want to say unexpected turn, but how it's affected everyone.
Certainly a climb.
Yeah, it's certainly a climb.
And on the other note, we are a smaller department, and so we do have to be fiscally responsible.
Yes.
So we understand all that, so.
Yes,
If we can
absolutely.
use the SAFER grant, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, again, I just, hearing his want to be here was one of the big things, because we don't want to necessarily, and again, we didn't have a whole lot of candidates, but we don't want to hire somebody that's going to take a
the training,
full-time
then
job
go.
after we've already invested money into, we've got to send them obviously out for a physical, which is going to cost money, get them fitted with turnout gear. So there's a big cost just initially hiring this individual, plus with posting ads where we did in social media and the Daily Dispatch and Indeed. That cost money, or that was a financial aspect. So we don't want to have to do this again in 3 months. So I think that was a big sell, that he wants to be here. And we've made clear the expectations, which includes you're not just providing advanced life support on an ambulance, you're also a firefighter on a fire engine, and he was very willing to do that and excited to do that.
He's obviously aware of the starting wage and the wage scale?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Swack, yes. Murray?
Yes.
Hitter?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Cannell.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:38.
Support.
All in favor?